What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country that you need to know about here on a daily basis, including money, investing, the stock market, the fourth stimulus package update, and stimulus check update. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, make sure to click the subscribe button down below so you don't miss out on new videos that come out here on our YouTube channel every day. It's completely free to do so, and I will keep you up to date here on everything going on here in our country that you need to know about here. Also, thanks for hitting the like button for us down below. It really helps out our YouTube channel. Okay, first up, we got a lot of different things to talk about here and what's going on here in our country. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is under a little bit of controversy, and I'll let you see the footage here. She, quote, elbowed a Republican congresswoman's daughter, young daughter. I'll let you see the footage here, and you can be the judge of what happened. Nancy Pelosi's spokesperson is insisting that the media is misrepresenting the video of her, quote, pushing the child. And here's what her spokesperson said, or what she said actually happened. And here's the footage of what actually happened. Let me know your thoughts here on this. Here it is. Check this out.
Time for the hot topic buzz. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi responded to claims that she pushed the daughter of newly elected Republican Congresswoman Mayra Flores at her swearing-in ceremony. Pelosi says she was actually trying to ensure the girl remained in frame. Mercedes, your reaction.
So I love watching all the Twitter activity around it because they do like the slow motion video of the speaker. I gotta tell you, what was she thinking? Like, don't nudge the child. I think she almost thought that she had Congresswoman Flores on her side and not this beautiful girl who literally just, it didn't even faze her. So I give kudos to Congresswoman Flores' daughter, who just stood there and was like, look, lady, I know you're speaker, but my mom is much cooler than you.
I will give her, the Ryan, like something had to be going through her mind other than I'm just going to shove the kid. And maybe I don't know, because, again, it's like a grandmotherly thing. You know, it's like, hey, you're not in, I don't know. I just find it hilarious that I get to watch this over and over again in slow-mo. Ryan?
I think it's just like the unbridled ambition. Even in her 80s, she's happy to push anyone out of the spotlight to be in the spotlight. So I guess in a weird way, you almost have to admire that. That she is still that ambitious after all these years. Doesn't matter how young the kid is. Get me in the frame, please.
The child was in her shadow. If you watch that, Nancy was kind of standing in front of her, and she shoved her to get. I think something had to be going through her head.
She needed to like. She had to be gentle and just push her forward, but not the nudge didn't work. I mean, it just doesn't work, especially in this hyper-political world that we're living in right now.
No, I agree. And it's a child, and it's not your grandchild.
Wow. Yeah, you can see that happen in Fox News shows it over and over and over and over. Nancy. Yeah, let me know your thoughts here on that. She says that she wasn't elbowing her or nudging her. She wanted to keep her in the frame. I know you can't make this stuff up, but that's what she says. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, but I'm not sure if that was keeping her in the frame or not, but maybe you think so. Yeah, so, you know, it's, who knows? Yeah. Meanwhile, Senator Bernie Sanders has a lot to say. Check this out.
I pay $175 to fill up this car.
What these guys have done is take advantage of this moment and rip off working class people all over this country who have got to fill up their gas tank to get to work.
ExxonMobil doubled its year-to-year quarterly profit with nearly $5.5 billion in net income.
Both ExxonMobil and Chevron reported surging profits at a time when gas prices are going up.
Exxon announced it would buy back more of its own shares with a bulk of its profits.
And that is why we're going to fight for a windfall profits tax on those crooks. It's not just gas, it's food. Right now, the price of beef has gone up 32%, chicken has gone up 20%. Meanwhile, Tyson Foods saw a 140% increase in their profits last quarter. Same thing for prescription drugs.
According to the AARP, big drug companies raised prices on hundreds of medications during the pandemic, including those commonly used in intensive care units to treat COVID-19.
We have got to tell my colleagues in Congress that they got to stop listening to their billionaire campaign contributors, and they got to start listening to the needs of the working class of this country, which is struggling. The good news is that all across this country, where you saw very brave people on Staten Island and Amazon stand up and take on Jeff Bezos and win, 6 months ago in Buffalo, New York, young people organized in 2 shops. Now it's 150 Starbucks shops. The American people are prepared right now to stand up, fight back, and take power.
Yeah, and with inflation right now at a 40-year high, 30, 40-year high, depending on what inflation meter you're looking at, and gas at an all-time high, even though oil prices are not at an all-time high. Gas prices are at an all-time high in the U.S. here and all around the world, and food prices are at an all-time high in the U.S. and all around the world. Yet these oil companies and food companies and pharmaceutical companies continue to see their profits and profit margins continue to rise. Yeah, it's sad. When it comes to pharmaceutical companies, the U.S. pays on average about 2.5 times more for prescription drugs than any other country in the world, even when it comes to the exact same prescription. So by the exact same companies. So the exact same companies, like, large pharmaceutical companies, will make prescriptions and sell them in multiple different countries, but they'll sell them for a lot more in the United States. Why? Because they can. Because they can just charge us more. Because they're allowed to. Because they can rip us off. Yeah. Let me know your thoughts here. Congress has just unveiled a new bipartisan insulin bill here in the Senate. Bipartisan, meaning Republicans and Democrats support it. Will it get enough votes to actually pass, though, is one of the key concerns here. Here's the details on this. Remember that insulin is very important because it's a life-saving drug, and the cost for it's very low to manufacture, and the cost that they actually charge people is insane. Yeah, you can see here Senator Ajin Shaheen, a Democrat from New Hampshire, and Susan Collins, a Republican from Maine, unveiled legislation on Wednesday aimed at lowering the cost of insulin, seeking a bipartisan breakthrough on one of the highest profile examples of high prescription drugs challenging patients. The legislation would cap out-of-pocket costs for insulin at $35 a month, which was one of the provisions in the Build Back Better package, which they have not been able to pass either, and includes provisions seeking to incentivize drug makers to lower the overall price of insulin. Quote, for far too long, patients have stretched their budgets, rationed insulin, and made difficult personal decisions to keep this drug within reach for themselves or those they love, Shaheen and Collins said in a joint statement. The measure faces a steep path to passing in the Senate, though. In addition to Collins, 9 other Republicans would have to support the bill to clear a 60-vote threshold in the in the Senate, along with all 50 Democrats. Only 12 Republicans voted for the House version of insulin legislation in March, with some calling the bill price controls. You let me know your thoughts here in the comments. This is coming from a Democrat and a Republican here from the Senate, it would only need 9 other Republicans out of, the rest of the Senate. 50 senators are Republican, 50 senators are Democrat. Can they not get 9 other Republicans to vote on a life-saving prescription drug lowering plan? Remember that insulin, the average cost of insulin costs, you can see here, a retail price for a package of is $700 for a package of 5 Humalog Quick Pens. There's now a generic version of this for $300, which is still very, very expensive. There's multiple different types here, though. As you can see here on the screen, some of them $700 per carton, $393 per vial, $360 per vial, $184 per vial, $119 per pen. So you can see here that, prices range pretty dramatically. It really depends on the type and the quantity and stuff like that, right? But why Republicans don't want to, I don't know why they don't want to pass something like this. It's a life-saving drug where people literally die if they don't have their insulin, if they can't afford it. So you let me know your thoughts here in the comments. This actually kind of reminds me of a recent bill here that just happened last month. House Democrats passed a bill against gas price gouging, against the gas and oil companies. They passed it in the House, but not a single Republican voted for it. So again, I don't, are we trying to protect the gas companies? Are we trying to protect the pharmaceutical companies? We read here, in this other article that the House Republicans voted, only 12 of them voted for it. And some of the Republicans called it price controls. But I mean, when it comes to life-saving prescriptions and when it comes to gas price gouging, are we just going to allow price gouging? Or do we want to say, no, we're not going to do that because it could be price controlling? But if it's price gouging, is that okay? We're just going to allow that? Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said he would put the legislation up for a vote very soon and put pressure on Republicans to support it. At least 1 in 4 insulin users report rationing their use because they can't afford it, putting their health and lives at risk. Senators Shaheen and Collins, Democrat and Republican, bipartisan legislation deserves the support of anyone who claims they want to lower costs for the American people. And speaking of health issues, this is actually on the same article, but farther down, not really related though. According to a new census, 1 in 5 people who had caught COVID report having long COVID. New data collected by the U.S. government found that nearly 1 out of 5 adults, or about 20% who have previously caught the virus, are now reporting having symptoms of long COVID, which means they're having symptoms, long-term symptoms. The information was sourced through the Household Pulse survey conducted by the Census Bureau and the National Center for Health Statistics, and began asking about the presence of this long-term symptoms at the start of June. Early research into the rate at which this occurs has been varied, with some estimates indicating that a majority of people infected with the virus experienced the perplexing condition, while others found that only a small minority had corresponding symptoms. 62,000 adults were surveyed. That's really a lot for an actual survey. Most surveys have a couple thousand. This is 62,000. 40% said they had a previous COVID infection. 19% said they were currently experiencing symptoms of long COVID. So that's, just about 1 in 5. 14% of adults with prior infections said they had post-COVID symptoms at some point. Of the general population, 1 out of 13, or 7.5% of U.S. adults reported having symptoms of long COVID that lasted 3 or more months after their initial infection. Yeah, so let me know your thoughts here in the comments. We are actually seeing an increase of cases at this point, and it's really hard to even tell how many people are even catching it at this point because millions and millions of people have the at-home tests now. You can get them free from the government at covidtests.gov. That's the website. It's not .com. It's covidtests.gov. You can get 3 rounds of tests sent to your house for completely free. You don't have to put any credit card in or anything. And that's the thing, is that now it's hard to even tell how many people are testing positive. But I mean, when you look here at the most recent data, I think I can zoom that in a little bit more. The most recent data here, June 29th, we had 196,000 new cases. Almost 200,000 new cases of people testing positive just on that single day. And you can see here the day before, if I can get it here. Well, June 27th is 131,000. But you can see here it's pretty high. And who knows how many people are just taking the at-home tests and saying, oh, well, yeah, these are only people that go to official testing facilities or, hospitals or something like that, which is an official testing facility. So, and remember, all these people apparently have somewhere around a 20% chance of also getting long-term symptoms, also known as long COVID. You can see here. And also, we can go to deaths here. I get people ask me about this as well. You can see here, deaths have come down dramatically. This new variant of the virus does seem to be less, it does seem to be less deadly, I guess is the word here. Back in February, we were averaging 2,500 people dying every single day. Okay, scroll this over here a little bit. So this new variant, it seems to be still contagious, but now, like yesterday, 693 people died. So there's still people dying every day, but it's not 2,500. And just to put that into perspective, I mean, that's still a lot of people. For example, 2,403 people perished in Pearl Harbor. So just to give you an idea, and we still remember that today. That was just one day. We've had over 1 million people die from this virus, and who knows how many people are experiencing long-term symptoms and such like that. So yeah, and the financial fallout. People lost their jobs, inflation now as a kind of the result of, we had to shut the country down, and now we're kind of trying to come out of it, and inflation is now rearing its ugly head. Yeah, so let me know your thoughts here in the comments. I'll keep you up to date here with everything. There's a lot going on here in our country. It's really kind of crazy right now. The Supreme Court and everything, and yeah. So make sure to subscribe down below to our YouTube channel. It's completely free to do so. And after you click subscribe, so you don't miss out on new videos, click the bell icon so you get notifications when we go live. I will keep you up to date. You can click here to see new stimulus checks that are coming out in July. And you can click here to see billions of dollars here that are going out for student loan forgiveness. If you have student loans or know anybody that has student loans, click on that video. Click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.